Welcome to Your Inspired Journey. I'm Carla Andrews, and I have the fantastic time of being here with Darryl and Chyanne, and they will be able to talk about couple life, entrepreneur life, and of course, raising girls. They actually have a photography business, and actually among a lot of other businesses. Correct? Am I right about that?
Yeah, and actually,
It's like two or
and a recent one actually in the last few weeks. So it's expanding quickly.
Well, that we got to hear about that one, but for sure, they're here to help us to learn how to live life as a couple, how to stay inspired, and of course, definitely raising family in this time. Welcome. How are you guys doing?
Great. Thanks for having us.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Of course, we always have to start how did you get to this journey? Tell us a little bit about your story of how you came together as a couple and, of course, living life in this world, right, as we are right now.
I talk faster, so I'll say this because it's a long story.
It's a long story.
Her version is much better than mine.
I can do a really fast, condensed version.
Okay.
In short form, Darryl and I met online. And
she was online shopping.
I was online shopping for my spouse, right? So it's great. So we met online 8 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've only been actually married for 5 years. Our daughters come from Darryl. So it was great because I had a family wrapped up in a bow. And so we have two lovely girls. They're 12 and 14. And
that's beautiful.
Business has always come, I think, natural to both Darryl and I. We're both really big into just, I guess, helping people and sharing our stories with what we've learned that did not work so well in the past. So our photography business was the first business we started together, and it was just a really small hobby of mine that Darryl had kind of pushed me to get into doing more. And it quickly grew into a full-time career for me. I left my job that I had, and with Darryl's support, we've just grown that business so much within 5 years. And now we've started the podcast together, and that's just focused on helping other couples in business and in life, and just how not to kill each other.
And you got to tell me, what is the name of your podcast? So everyone can know and connect with you, those who are looking to learn more about the couple life.
Our podcast is called We Got This, Darryl and Chyanne. And the reason why we named it We Got This is because when we got married, our marriage didn't quite start off quite the way that we wanted marriage to start off. It wasn't sunshine and rainbows. And I had engraved inside of Darryl's ring, "We got this." And that's just something that we have always said to each other if things are a little bit bumpy or they're not quite going the way that we planned. And so that's why our podcast was named that.
No, it's so fitting because definitely, I love how, as you were speaking, you're looking at Darryl and the support. It's evident that you guys work together and make it work no matter what's coming your way. So that is, You Got This is really a great way to share whatever message that you have with people, with couples, and of course about businesses. And so now you'll have the photography business, and you just mentioned that you have another one coming.
Yeah. So in the last 4 weeks, we have brainstormed and decided, and we'll be opening a new boutique. So it will actually house the photography business. It will house my hair salon out of there because I still do hair salon as a hobby. And we will also have a retail space for local artisans to be able to showcase their art and sell it for them.
Oh, I love that.
Her hair is a hobby. She's been doing it for 14 years. And
I'm tired from it. I just love it so much.
She does very well at it, and it's much more than a hobby. I think she likes to downplay that, so it almost seems like it's not as big as it is, but she does very well.
So
14 years is a lot of experience.
Yeah, well, if I say that, then it makes me sound older. So I think that's why I just don't say the years. You're aging. But yeah, so the new boutique, we're all really excited. The girls the girls are calling it their boutique. It's going to be a family business. So eventually they'll be able to work out of there with us. And it's been crazy last 3 weeks, just finding a space, getting everything built and all started.
Oh, much success. That sounds fantastic. And it's interesting how, as everyone is trying to head online, you're looking to expand as a brick and mortar business where you're serving your community. You become a local business serving that and making that impact locally. How does that feel? Do you feel like, it's almost like as everyone is heading up the stairway one direction, you look like you're going the other direction. Does it feel strange or actually maybe a breath of fresh air to something totally new that you're trying? Or what's the experience like? Almost like going against the grain type of thing.
I guess, the brick and mortar concept is such a fundamental thing for business. And I mean, when you put together the types of services that we have, it made sense to be able to provide a more of a local feel, to people that are walking by, the photography studio, but it just didn't feel right to just have the photography. So we maintained that online in the past, and then when we had the opportunity to come through with the boutique and also the hair, and then we're providing some additional services with some local suppliers for massage and like eyelash techs or any of those additional services. It really ties into the kind of the brick and mortar feel that about the values of what we have on the podcast, as well as business people that the people that we have in there are all local. They're all trying to start their own business, and we're providing them a space that is relatively cheap compared to the overall market, and allowing them to really kind of set some roots and to help them kind of grow into their own, and hopefully inspire them to open up their own shop. We definitely don't want to be landlords for everybody for the rest of our life. So it's nice to see people come in with no direction and leave with I guess a new vision.
So it sounds like it could be a wonderful place for events, cocktails, all type of after hour type of gathering. Is there such a space
Actually,
in that building?
It's funny you say that. I've already outgrown our space and we haven't even opened.
Well, we had the idea that with the local artisans and the photography, local artists putting their stuff up on the wall and up for sale, that we would provide almost like a mingles night or some sort of cocktail nights,
like a gallery viewing.
Yes.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah, so you have your local artists invite all of their potential customers, and they can advertise for you, all while everybody's kind of cross promoting within each other within one space. And everybody's mom and dad or sister comes to town and visits, and it just kind of gives everybody another opportunity to kind of get together and to kind of mingle within the community, and almost like a networking situation as well.
It sounds like it's going to be a great place to not only network and connect with each other, but as far as being a vibrant type of space for the others to think and to grow their businesses. So that's going to be fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So of course, we went down that route because that's always exciting, right? To be able to gather and collaborate and connect with people that's around you, so that in the community. But I know that you're focusing on helping couples, you're focusing on building your businesses, but most importantly, being parents to your daughters. Share a little bit about that part in regards to couples. Why are you inspired to help serve couples on your podcast?
Well, that's a great question, because ultimately that's how we started the podcast. As we continuously were getting questions on how we do what we do, and how we navigate through life, especially with the girls. Me being divorced, Chyanne being single into her 30s, being pressured by friends and family about when are you having kids, and it all kind of a lot of people just and a lot of but you know what though, everybody each to their own, and I mean,
that's right.
It just allow everybody to to kind of see why we do the things that we do. And I think that one of the important things that we do with our girls is that we don't necessarily shelter them to the harshness of reality. And sometimes, you know, business, like in life, is vicious and it's unforgiving, and we have to be able to deal with that and move forward, not necessarily individually alone, but also as a family and even or as a couple. So one of the important things that we tend to really preach to our girls is that failure is a necessary part of progress, because you know, there's a saying that it doesn't matter how far you think you've fallen, rock bottom is a great foundation for success. So
I love that.
It's never the wrong time to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and not accept your current situation.
It's like learning how to ride a bike, or learning how to
Absolutely.
walk. You just imagine an infant, you know, a toddler. They fall and fall until eventually they are able to walk and run. So it's just business is the same.
Yeah, and it's really important too, because I mean, with that analogy too, even in parenting, that you know, my grandmother always say, "Stop picking your daughter up. She needs to learn to get up and do it herself." And some parents will run over and they'll pick their kid up at the first moment when they fall or they start to cry. So it's life is just like being a baby, and same thing with business. You got to learn to get up, learn to be able to play by yourself, learn how to play with others, and
Well, and the more you do it, the easier it gets. I will say, starting this business, we literally did not ever think about doing this boutique. It was nothing that was on our radar, and we had gone on family holidays. We went on a 3-week camping trip. We came back. We were back for a week, and a seed kind of got planted. And, you know, within the last month, we've grown all of this from a thought. And it was funny because the girls came back to our house after being gone for a week, and we had told them that we had started this boutique, that we were doing this, and they were like, "We've only been gone for a week and you started another business." They were just so surprised at how fast we got it done. But one of the nice things is because Darryl and I learned so much in the past from you know, failing at other businesses and starting them up, that it was really easy for us to kind of go through our checklist of the things that we knew that we needed to do right away. And then as a couple, way less fighting this time around for this business than any of the other ones we've done, because Darryl knew
there was a lot more submission.
Darryl knew what he was going to do. Yeah. And I knew what I was going to do. And I think it really helped us to be able to get this done in a very timely manner, but still be organized and making sure that we're getting all the steps done that we need to. So I will say that, you know, you can definitely learn from, you know, your failures, and having somebody that supports you and that you can work with is just, you know, really nice whenever you're starting a
great
business.
blessing. It is, because a lot of times, especially more than ever, there's a lot of couples who are trying to create a business together. Mm-hmm. And as you mentioned, it's like, okay, there wasn't as much fighting this time, because sometimes it's finding that space or placing those parameters. And my husband and I, we worked together over 20 plus years, and it's been beautiful. But right from the beginning, we placed the expectation, whether I'm the operation and he's the, you know, execution person, or whatever the case was, we respected each other as if we were in the corporate, because we were coming from the corporate space. Mm-hmm. So I'm hearing that right now, the maturity of building a business together, even if you had it separate at the beginning, but taking those skill sets and then building it together. Because what I'm hearing literally from what you're sharing with me is, soon you're going to have a team. You're going to have your team is going to expand pretty quick. And so not only working as a couple, right? Not only working as a couple.
We have started doing that too in the last little bit. See, you just know us so well already.
Yes, right? Been there, done that. So now it was interesting, because they would look at us. I'm not going to say it's like your employees or like your children, but they're looking at as two heads. And so more than ever, it's important that you two come to an agreement as where you're moving as one, because the last thing you want is Mr. Darryl says this and Miss Chyanne is saying this, and so now you cause a division within the house. So this is great to hear.
If you don't
Yeah,
like mom's
right?
answer, go ask dad. Right?
Yeah, the girls know not.
And it happened to us. It happened to us. And we were
Well,
like, don't even must try
yeah.
that. It did. It really did. But it's great. I can see the expansion happening pretty quick because it sounds like it's going to be a key, iconic location for your community. Because I think every community is always looking for a go-to place. And so this is the opportunity to do that. So it's interesting how you're taking what you're learning, not only as a couple, but as business partners,
Mhm.
and be able to make that work for everyone, including your daughter. They'll be learning, they're going to learn a lot of their skill sets from watching YouTube. So I guess we,
Yeah.
as grown adults, we have to behave. They're watching.
Oh, absolutely. And they
So,
soak it up very quickly.
yes, they're actually going to become entrepreneurs. That's what happened to us because we saw our parents doing it. So
That's a
what is
success.
the next? Yes, a success. What does success look like for you now? Now that you have your businesses, you're placing a solid foundation in place, not only for as a family, as a couple, and as a business. And now really, I'm going to add another one, guys, community leaders.
Well, that's
Now that this is happening, well, hey, if it becomes
That's
a go-to
that's
spot,
another step up there. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I saw it. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at two community leaders now because that's what happens. Usually those who are in the brick and mortar spaces do become community leaders. So you're falling in, or not falling, but you're heading in that direction. And are you ready? Are you having like principles already in place, values that you've already see that you could already place as your legacy? And I'm sharing this because I think that was one of the first statements that I made to myself. If I could ever go back, which I can, and if I could ever share with someone else who's starting in that legacy pattern, is how do you want your legacy to look like?
Yeah, and I
What
think
does that look like?